agenda is a special call city council meeting for August the 13th, 2026, 6 p.m. in Bruceville-Eddy City Hall, 144 Fox Drive, Eddy, Texas. Notice is hereby given that the Bruceville-Eddy City Council will conduct a meeting on Thursday, August the 13th, 2026, beginning at 6 p.m. at the regular meeting place in council chambers at City Hall, 144 Wilcox Drive, Eddy, Texas. And notice of meeting given time, place, and date and subject was posted and described in the VTCA Government Code 551.041 for the purpose of considering the following agenda items.
Hey, Mayor, can we turn your mic on? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go closer to them? Okay. Sorry. Well, it was on. I just wasn't real close to it. I apologize. Usually I'm louder than this, but
I don't know.
I'm trying to be nice.
Okay. I don't know if it is registering.
No guarantee. Okay. Meetings are available to watch on our YouTube channel. Search for the City of Bruceville-Eddy and click the subscribe button. Please mute your phones and computers to avoid any interference during this meeting. Thank y'all. As I said, this council meeting is now in order, and we just want to say thank y'all for being here. If y'all would please stand for prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for today and for every day that you help us tremendously with everything that we need in our lives. We ask for things, we may not get it. It's the point that we think we ask for it, but it does come around when we ask. You always come out and give us some answer of some kind. Lord God, we just say thank you for giving us all life and taking care of us and helping those that need help, and just thank you, Lord. Well, I pray for all of our first responders, our police department, our city workers, people that work here in City Hall, our city administrator, and I thank you, Lord, for this council. Lord God, I just thank you for all the citizens of Bruceville-Eddy. There are so many of them out here that would like to be here but just can't, so that's why we have all this on YouTube. And we just want you to know, Lord, that we thank you for helping people come up with inventing all these special things. Sometimes I just go, why? I just can't believe how precious everything is. Thank you, Lord God. Lord Jesus, again, I just say thank you, and I pray for all these families. And Lord, I just want to say a special prayer for our military. We had two gentlemen that lost their lives yesterday in Salado, Texas, in a helicopter accident. So I want to be with them and their family. I went to the scene. It's bad. But thank you, Lord God. I just pray that you put your hands on the family and heal them from this suffering. Lord, I know there's so many people out there that need you all the time, especially me. So I know you're there, and I know you'll be with me and everyone here. Thank you, Lord God, for everything that you do. I ask for all these things in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and one indivisible. You may have a seat. Okay, I guess I do roll call tonight in the back, running the computers, and the YouTube channel is our city's secretary, Renee, and we have Chief Dorsey at the back. Thank you for being here, sir. And then we got all the citizens here. To my left up here, I have Councilman Wiggins. I have Councilman Brewer. I have City Administrator Lawrence Contrini, right? I'm terrible with names, so I don't say last names. And then we got Councilwoman Melissa. And then we have Councilman Richard Prater and Councilman Justin Richardson. Thank y'all very much for being here. Community announcements. I'm not for sure. Let's see, this is August. We're not, what do we have? Are we having anything at the church?
Okay, wish me luck on
Okay, just put there, hey, look at their ratchet thumb already.
All right, the only announcement is not bingo, but the other one.
Bunko.
Okay, the last bunko we had, there were only 2 people who showed up, so Sheree made the command decision that we'll suspend that for a while and until people are available to come in.
That's right, thank you. All right, anybody else have any community announcements, anything coming up at y'all's church or anything like that? Nothing, okay. Food bank, we still got things? Yeah, don't even get a hold of them yet, okay. All right, and thank you very much for letting them know that, thank you very much, that sure helped a lot of people. All right, no more community announcements. City Hall doesn't have any at this moment. Citizens' comments and reports. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter. To address the City Council, please sign the speaker's card located on the table just inside the council chambers and deliver it to the City Secretary before the meeting begins. Please limit comments to 5 minutes in accordance with the Open Meeting Act. Council may not discuss or take action on any item that has been posted on the agenda. Do we have anybody signed up to speak for
No.
5 minutes? No? Okay, we're moving right along. Item number 8, discuss, take action, or pass on any of the following. Council to discuss, consider, and possibly take action to approve the proposed FY 2026-2027 budget. That's A. B. Council to discuss, consider, and possibly take action to approve posted FY 2026-2027 tax rate. So is there anybody want to talk about that or discuss anything about the tax rates? None? Okay, moving right along. Council, you don't have anything that y'all want to say about these 2 things, or can we move on? Okay, Mr. Wiggins.
The budget, yeah, on the budget, we're gonna talk about it, right?
If that's what you want to, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I'll kick it off, if we go to the general fund, if you go to that, bring that up,
Okay.
however you wanna do it.
I had a few things I wanted to share with you guys too, but I'll go after you.
Yeah.
After
Okay.
you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So the general fund, did you want to pull up the worksheet? Or?
Yeah, the worksheet,
Okay.
yeah, start with, I'll go,
Let me find the worksheet.
no, that was it.
I got to grab that.
What number are you going to start off with, Ms. Williams?
What number, Mr.
General
Wiggins?
fund.
What number?
worksheet. Oh, at the revenue, the very top one.
No,
5,002.
Or 5,000.
Yeah, it's the very top.
Franchise fee revenue?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
there you go. There. Yeah, okay, on that, I noticed that from the budget 1, I'll call it budget 1,
Yes, sir.
it increased $32,778 from budget 1 to this budget. Why is that?
Yeah, that is correct. Let me see if I can find my paperwork on that real quick. I got a
got
stack.
so many snacks over there.
Yeah.
There's no hurry.
Here we go. All right, so yes. What was the number you said came to
The
again?
very top one.
32,778
Right.
from the last one.
So what it is we instituted in this budget, we had some changes that council requested last budget meeting. So implemented those, and whenever I get to my PowerPoint, I'll kind of run through that and some other updates.
Is that like that franchise fee or what?
So, yeah, the franchise fee was created as a recommendation to add into the budget as basically the city collects franchises from all utilities, right? we're not taking a franchise fee from ourselves. Every city does such. So this was something I was recommended to add in here. And the reason being is, if you think about it, the water department is always having to dig up streets and make repairs. So whenever the asphalt and soils and all the other materials go back in, typically if the water fund is not paying to the general fund for those materials and labor and everything else that goes with replacing the streets, then, you know, essentially it's just, it'll be a loss on the general fund side to pay for those materials, because that's what it'll be taken out. So every city I worked for always had a franchise fee, and I recognize we didn't have one here. So it's something I was recommending, and I think that it came in at less than 2% is what I'm recommending for total revenues.
Right. Yeah, when you say that franchise fee, is that something that will be added to our water bill, for example?
No, sir.
How are we gonna collect that?
So a franchise fee is almost in a way just a transfer of monies from water fund to general fund, but it's labeled as a franchise fee because that's a justification. Like we collect franchise fees from all utilities that use our right of ways, you know, on Core, Adness, everyone pays us, even our trash providers. So in theory, we have a water system in enterprise, and it could be anyone, but it happens to be us, because there are some cities that it's private or other groups that provide water.
Right.
So the justification is our water network or system should be paying a franchise fee as well, like all the rest of them that are using the city's right of way, because it's a separate fund from the general fund that owns the right of way.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Now go down to that 5021, which is a grant income. That shows 168,750.
Oh, yeah, it's grant income?
Yeah, 168,750. That went down 18,000 from budget one.
Yes.
Over there.
So I credit you and, I'm trying to remember what's name. Mrs. Wiggins. Y'all pointed out that I did a kind of a typo on that last budget. It was kind of a reversal of the numbers in there. It was 186,750.
Oh,
And it was supposed to be at 168. Yeah, so I put that back, and that caused a little bit of a loss there. It was one of those things that when I then recommended, we should probably go ahead and institute a franchise fee.
right, okay. Now, if you go to page 2, let's go down to the administrative costs, attorney fees, 6202. 6202.
Attorney
It's on
fees.
page 2.
But recommended.
Administrative costs, you've got 14, okay, you've got 14,000. And as you can see, as of July the 31st, we spent right at 18,000. And actually, that went up from last month. So in budget one, which was end of June, it went up $5,030 for this 1 month. So actually we're tracking $21,577. I just don't think at 14,000. And if you look at our past, what we've done, you know, I just don't think 14,000 is gonna be enough.
Well, you know, I would say that we spent the bulk of our monies on additional attorney services to include PUC, which one of them is now finally done, and one is still ongoing, but hopefully ends soon. And we spent $150,000 roughly at this point on those 2 PUC cases, which is out the norm. We also have a lot of anomaly attorney spends this year, especially with our ongoing project and the things we've been having to do with contractors. Hopefully that's not the case coming up soon. But I'll also just go forward to some other sections where we have attorney fees. This is another section, we have attorney fees that,
Well, I mean, just on this one here,
right,
like I said, based on the math and what we've been doing, you know, like I said, we're tracking 21,577 if you do the math. And I just don't think at 14,000, I think it's undercutting that quite a bit.
Sure.
And we know we're not gonna finish we're not through with attorneys. We all already know
So we do have attorney fees in 6 other places in this budget, you know, and could be the case that some fees were added here when they could have been there, yeah, you know, I trust Esther to apply things correctly, but, you know, if we have a situation where one attorney line item is running lower than we have the other 5,
this. Yeah. I would, it's my suggestion, raise that to at least 17,000. That's $3,000 more dollars. I said, that's my suggestion. I mean, to me, the objective, you know, on this budget is we take the figures that we have and we try to get the best guess that we can get. You know, what we've done in the past, and you can take an average if you want to do 3 years average or however you want to do it. In this case, it's 10 months. If you want to take that, what we've already, year-to-date actual, divide that by 10, multiply that by 12, and that'll give you what we're tracking. So,
And-
I'm recommending 17 on that, and I don't know if the other council was seeing this, or y'all see this?
Okay, yes, Mr. Richardson?
So, Mr. Wiggins' recommendation is based on our current spending for this year, but that was also, we decided to hire Lloyd Gosley to represent the city on one case at $400 an hour. That cost us somewhere neighborhood of $100,000. My contention to your estimates would be that we're basing that on an inflated number, so.
No, I disagree with that.
I mean, you disagree, I'm just telling you, unless we plan on spending
Let's
$100,000 a
let Mr.
case.
Richardson speak first, sir.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I mean, unless we're planning on hiring another $400 an hour attorney to represent a few CKs where the woman was representing herself, I think that the numbers this year are a little inflated.
Well, okay, I'm not doing.
No, sir, I didn't say you was.
Okay.
I was letting him finish, and that's going back, I was
Okay.
letting him finish.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we've had that Mr. Gosley for a while, and we all, as far as that goes, we all voted on that. But anyway, we don't ever know when we might get another case, and who we might be. So, like I said, based on that, I just think we'll raise it. Now, you know,
Yeah.
that's just my opinion.
Yes,
We move, I can move on to the next.
So, Rick, I got a question.
We
So,
have
one,
one opinion on that.
one question real quick before we go through all of these line by line. So,
Okay.
Britt, in the PowerPoint, let me go back to that and just ask for because I did this for the water fund and the general fund. Remember you and I, and Councilman Prater met, and we took all the notes on all the ones we wanted and your recommendations. This is what I documented from that meeting. Is that still the same ones, or has?
Yeah, well, I mean, keep in mind, your figures changed from budget 1, right? From budget 1 to 2.
Yeah, so we did.
Is that correct?
I updated property lease
Yeah.
there,
So some of your figures changed and some of mine did too.
but they're
Not up there.
no, it is. That's
Yeah.
that's correct.
No, that's from budget 1.
No, that's correct. That's
Yeah, from budget 1. Yeah.
So you're saying that's what I'm asking you. Some
Yeah,
of your
did I have 17,000 down on
All
that?
right, let's let one,
some.
okay, guys, all right. You both can't talk to each other at the same
Oh, yeah.
time, so let's do one at a time. So you can ask a question and give Lawrence time to explain it, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I had 17,000 down there. I said,
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering is, did some of your numbers change on the requested adjustment there, or is that still?
No, that was still 17, what I
All
said.
right, we have one more
Yeah.
question from the council member on that budget thing. Mr. Richardson? I mean, Mr. Prater?
Yeah, if you look on, page, that's gonna be the general fund, community development. That,
There's no sound.
Where are you talking about? What
That's,
page?
uh,
I'm going to let them know that
6202.
there's no sound, so probably tomorrow
Page 6.
I'll load it and I'll
Okay.
combine it and
I
it'll.
just wanted you to know, in case you.
Thank you, yeah.
Attorney fees, 23, 24 was 10,469,
Mhm.
And then 24, 25, 357. And the current budget is 5,000 and we haven't spent anything on that. So you kind of gotta know what's gonna be.
Yeah, but that's in community development.
Right.
I mean, each department stands alone.
Yes, I understand
Yeah.
that, but you gotta look at what we already.
But you can't borrow from one department to the next department.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the department, each department individually.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But, I mean, to look in the future, you gotta know where we've been in the past.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Right.
I'm looking at the attorney
But
fees.
what we already got rid
One at a
of,
time, please.
what we already got rid of, with those past numbers, doesn't mean that's what we're gonna have for the future.
Yeah, and doesn't mean it's not either.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
All right, I'll move on.
All right.
Okay, like I said, that doesn't mean it's not. Agree, disagree, doesn't matter to me. Oh, okay, on the, under page, no, yeah. Okay.
This is 1010 or 10.
Okay, I see on the animal control, which is page 6, that 6210,
See the line item?
yeah, 1021. 1021, page 6. Page 6. 1021, 6210. Yeah, you went up on that. So I see that. That's good. That was really all I had under the, general fund. I can move on if you want me to finish my stuff, whatever you want to do. I can
Okay,
move on.
go ahead, and then we can let somebody else.
Do you-
do
okay.
theirs.
I don't know if you wanna,
Okay, you wanna go ahead and do yours?
maybe go fund by fund.
Sure, let's do that.
Usually you kind of just do the general fund and then you'll jump to the water fund.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, so since you brought up a few line items, I guess we can start with this slide. You know, from our last meeting, this was a list of all your requested changes
Mhm.
for the general fund. So are you not wanting all of these adjusted?
Yeah.
This time, just the ones that you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, okay, let me find one. That one, you know, I'll go to that, page 2. It's 1010-6160 miscellaneous expense. Is that on there? Yeah, that's on there. You've got 500, I said 1,000, and I just did the math on that, and that's what it was tracking. So, you know, that's like $500 difference.
Right, and that's what I have on here, see, it
Yeah.
says request,
Yeah.
it says requested amount right here, well, this little thing's not working, let me do this.
Yeah, the difference you've got is 500.
Well, let's see, requested, and it was, which one was it, this one?
Yeah,
So this is your requested amounts?
yeah, and then the difference is 500.
Yeah, the difference between
Yeah.
budgeted,
Yeah.
your request, and then the difference.
So I'm not trying to henpeck it, so to speak. I mean, 500 here and 500 there does make a difference, you know. But, to me, the bigger ones was that the attorney fees, you know, I felt like 3,000 is a difference.
Sure.
And then there was, the other one was just $1,000 difference. And that health district, another one was advertising, legal notices, you know, 750 difference. So, you know, I'm not trying, and on that social platforms, you know, that was like $25 difference. But the reason I said that, because you had 425, but on throughout our budget, and each department has that, it was 400. So to me, it's like I told you, either we're only tracking $388 so far, so that 400 would be enough. So if you're gonna do it for one, do it for all, is my point on that.
Yeah.
Even though it was $25.
Yeah, and what I'll say is, that one is a good example of all one bill that comes in, right, monthly.
Yeah.
And what Esther does is she splits it across all departments where they're all paying evenly. Same thing for this one. So that's why you see, almost like we saw attorney in 6 spots. It's the same thing.
Big difference between attorney and buying meals.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if one had $25 extra, it doesn't mean that one department has $25 more below. What that social platforming is at lunch for the employees, and everyone
Right.
eats together.
No, I understand.
One bill, and all those departments are paying for it.
Right, no, I got it, but the past practice has always been, you know, all of us have been the same.
Yeah, I think she does that now for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know she deducts it all separately, each department. Anyway, I can move on to the water.
If you don't mind, let me go through the general fund, and then we'll get to the water fund.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just start from the
And if
beginning.
any council member has anything, their opinion on any of it, please let us know.
Yes.
Right
So-
now, we just have one council member that is doing it. so.
Thank you for everyone being here tonight. I appreciate all your time being here. Good to see everyone. So council, as we go through this, if you have any questions, just stop me and let's just discuss whatever you like. So this is pretty much what we discussed last time, but with some newer updates. I want to start with this. This is just kind of a update of things that have occurred since our last meeting. Want to let you know the EDC did meet the other night, and they voted to have me bring before the council a request to see if the council will agree to allow me to create a request for proposal or go out for bids for seeking bidders for the new city website. So I guess I'll have that on the next agenda for discussion, and if you guys allow, I will create that bid and put it out for notice, and whenever we get bidders, I'll bring that back to the ED board, let them select one, and then bring it to council for finalization, and they say if they are willing to pay for the new website. There are 2 open board positions with the ED board of directors currently. There's an opening also for the secretary officer position. The ED board applications on the city website. The ED board will meet Tuesday, September 22nd to discuss submitted applications, nominate, and then vote on 3 positions. So we have 2 walking away, and Mr. Jim is going to continue on. So if you know anyone who's interested, the application's online, we can print you one, just bring it, and we've got about a month to hopefully have some submittals.
Who's walking away?
Gail and Sandra.
Gail and who?
Sandra.
Oh.
Also, Dennis Cheney has offered the city $25 per grazing acre at our wastewater treatment plant land. I told him that I would speak to you guys about it tonight, and if y'all are in agreement, generally, I'll go ahead and work up a contract with the attorneys and get him to sign, and I'll bring it before the council, and if you guys approve, you approve. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that tonight. If you give me general consensus on it, then I'll get that going as well. I calculated, so it was 101 acres, but I calculate there's only 68 grazing acres on there, minus the ponds that are fenced off, which is great, and then also minus the treed area, you know, that's in the right of way by the railroad. You can't graze that, obviously. So I'm calculating we're going to get about $1,700 from him annually if the council so agrees to proceed with that. So I actually plugged that into the budget.
Good question. When we say, because it says, I guess it should be closer. It says $25 per grazing acre, with the 68 grazing acres. Is that per year, per month, per hour?
And annual, yes, sir. So that'd be great per hour, but yeah. No, it'll be, yeah, 1,700 a year.
Next acre high now.
Yeah, I know.
And everything's going up daily.
And then let's see, also the Public Works Department is recommending that we adopt a culvert price listing. It's basically a copy of the county's. Gene was letting me know that we get requests to do culvert repairs and we really don't have a fee or like program in place that we can decide on how to charge people. So I've included that. It'll be the next slide for your consideration. If you want to adopt it, then we'll have something to actually start doing this and we have a fee in place.
Okay, Mr. Prater?
Just got a message, there's no sound on the meeting.
Okay.
There's no sound on the meeting.
No.
Correct. Earlier, whenever I asked you, it's not working.
Oh,
So
it's not, it's just working in here.
So what'll happen is tomorrow or later today, I'll just connect it with my voice recording and it will
Okay.
have it on their audio tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Renee.
Thank you, appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Sorry, I don't know why, but it just didn't.
There is no telling technology.
Well, YouTube, maybe I used it, but I wasn't gonna say it. I asked her, she said, I said, well, maybe there's something over there she knows.
So then also Gene is also recommending that we increase the water reconnect fee, late payment fee. Both of them are 30, he's requesting to go up to 50, the council so agrees, and we can look at that. And then lastly, the TML 114th Annual Conference registration is open. It opened, I think, maybe last week. It's $420 a person, and it's a bunch of educational sessions and exhibits, and most importantly, all the other Texas municipalities are there, councils and staffers and managers, and a lot of vendors. It's a neat, fun thing if y'all haven't done it. It's an annual event, and it's like a 3-day wonderful session. There's so many classes you can go and take and meet all kinds of people. I mean, you never know, you can be sitting next to the mayor from Fort Worth. I mean, that's just how it works. So it's a lot of fun, and you meet a lot of good people. So I wanted to throw that out there, because if any of you guys are interested, then let's discuss it. And, you know, I know we'll have the monies to pay for those who are interested in going. It's typically in October, but I don't know if they moved it to September this year, but believe me when I say every city is there, and it's something that everyone does every year.
They moved it to November.
Okay, great.
November.
They moved
November.
it, they moved it to November.
Is it November?
November?
They moved it this year, from October to
Okay,
November.
that's right, yeah. Okay, it's weird. I don't know why they did
Prager
that.
and Melissa would like to go.
So this year it'll be at San Antonio, and they always do it at the convention centers.
It's very good.
Yes, it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's very good, it is.
Yeah. Anyone interested, do me a favor, just shoot me an email or let me know. I'll try to get us registered. We're actually behind the gun with the registration, but I'll get on it right away if you guys want to go. I think it's a wonderful thing for us all to do. I've always enjoyed it, and I think you guys will really, really enjoy it.
I think I probably use it.
The amount of classes is amazing. You can go online and look right now, but there's so many different sessions, whether you want to learn how meetings are ran, legal, planning, zoning, law, code enforcement, water,
Cool.
I mean, law enforcement, everything's there. And you can go choose which ones you want to attend.
I need all of them.
Yeah.
And it's live sessions, like they have experts there that run these classes.
Okay, sounds great. Well, I know 3 people that would probably go.
Okay, well, good. Yeah, let's just talk more if you guys are interested. I'll get us all signed up. Whoever's ready to go. We'll all go.
All right.
It'll be fun.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. And then we'll have the other thing too is, I tried budgeting for us getting shirts. So I'll have to talk to you guys about what sizes, and we'll all wear our city shirts. So I'll get with y'all on that too, so we all match when we go represent. All right, so this is the culvert price list that Gene submitted to us. This is from the county. He just recommended that we consider adopting the same thing, since right now we don't have prices for repairing people's culverts. One thing I'll mention that's good for the citizens, if you look at the top, if we do adopt this was created in March of 22, so obviously these prices are probably cheap, the material is probably a lot higher now, so if we do adopt this, I think the citizens will be getting an outstanding cost on the product. All right, so this is our updated revenue breakout. Not too much change. The number changed a little bit, but essentially same stuff here. This is the breakdown and expenses. And again, if anyone has any questions, just stop me and we'll go through it. Adjusted the taxable valuation. The certified numbers came in a little differently than the preliminary. The recommendation is still to proceed with the no new revenue rate. That's it, right there. It's showing you how much revenue it's bringing in. This is essentially a no tax rate increase. That's what the no new revenue stands for. So that's the recommendation, and that's how the budget is built as such. This is the current tax rate. I just want to point that out to you. So your current tax rate for the city is 0.47. If we adopt what we're recommending tonight, you see what it'll be. It's going to be 0.449. So right now you're at 0.47. It'll be going down, but 0.03 cents roughly. And then here's what is also in the budget installed already. the retirement, the 3% COLA, health insurance, there was no change in that, and the price didn't increase this year, which is great. Uniforms were plugged in for us to all get shirts, and then streets, drainage, uniforms, I put their money back for the request, and PD, same thing, he requested some additional monies, which I did plug into this current budget worksheet that you'll have. Yes, sir.
Okay, on that there, that TMRS, that went down $1,416 from budget one.
TMRS, which one is it?
Retirement.
Top one? Oh, yes, yes.
The one went down $1,416 from budget one.
Yep.
And then, this don't make no sense, if down there, under TMRS, is a 4% down there, that goes up $71. So it's $71 difference between the 4% and 3%. But on the water side, if you have all this on the water side too, on the water side, it went up 2,700, over 2,700. Something's wrong, that figure ain't right.
Yeah. Well, I think that,
I don't know what this, well, we need to recheck that is what I'm saying.
well, I asked.
I don't know why those figures changed.
So I did ask Esther about that. So this is again an update on the things that we already discussed last budget, right? The updated numbers I emailed to all you guys, council, so you know it's in that email that I shot you guys with the new spreadsheet that I shared with y'all. Esther came to me and said, hey, I figured out, because I asked her to give me, you wanted that 4% COLA increase. So I said, go ahead and give me that number and I'll present it because you asked for that at the last meeting. When she got that to me, she then said, hey, I figured out I gave you the wrong numbers for the 2 to 1. So that's why it changed to 11,590.
Okay.
Yep. And what she said was, she has a separate spreadsheet. You're probably familiar with it, that spreadsheet that shows all personnel. And it's pretty complicated what she built. What it is one side, you'll have to really study it. One side, she did numbers for a 50-50 split, right, between salaries, because some people, you can 50% pay out of water fund and 50% pay out of water fund. Then she looked at, we were just basically looking at numbers. We said, let's look at if you paid 75% general fund and 25% water fund, right? So that's another tier that's on there. So there were all these different breakouts. So I was just looking at what those numbers would be. And she told me she grabbed the last set, why the numbers changed, she accidentally grabbed set from the 75-25 and gave those. And she said, oops, I just realized it was supposed to be 50-50. So in essence, what changed was the number here on the PowerPoint, but what didn't change was the actual worksheet. She used the right numbers on the worksheet, so nothing changed there. It's just kind of a paper tiger, if you want to call it that, on this PowerPoint.
Okay. I just noticed the numbers changed and didn't want to know why. Yeah.
All right.
And then the big difference between that 4% and 3% right here is $71, but on the water side, it's over $2,700 difference, 23 and 4% on TMRS. Yeah. So I don't know why that is. That seems, that's a lot. That's what I'm saying. So if you don't mind, make a note of that, and we might ask her about that.
Yeah, I can ask her. But she did guarantee me that the numbers in the worksheet are correct. So I don't think there's going to be change. Because even though she changed the numbers on this PowerPoint that we're discussing now, nothing changed on that worksheet. It was just that little sheet that she had.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions on this?
Not on this for me.
Okay, but we want to, like Mr. Wiggins had brought up at the last budget workshop, did we want to discuss a 4%, I know he mentioned he wanted the 4% COLA. Do we want to discuss whether we want to do that now, or would you rather save it till later in the workshop?
No, I didn't mention the 4%.
Yes, sir.
I wanted that.
Was that?
I didn't mention that I wanted the 4%.
Yeah, well, the last workshop you mentioned you needed the numbers for the 4%.
Yes, I'm asking that, I needed that for the
Okay,
TMRS.
one at a time, Mr. Wiggins, let him speak, and then you can ask him or tell him that you did or didn't do it.
Yeah, that was from both sides.
I just answer, but every time somebody tries to explain to you what's going on, you jump in there because you don't let them finish. So we need to at least let somebody finish their conversation before we jump back in.
Okay, long as you do that for others. that's
I
fine.
will, sir, I will,
Okay.
but right now, it's just you doing it.
Okay, sure it is.
So going back what I was saying was, when you brought that up, did you just bring that up because you wanted to see the numbers, or were you proposing a 4% COLA, or kind of, what was your reason for that?
Okay, my time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he asked you a question.
All right. Okay, no, I never said I wanted to propose it. I said I wanted to see the numbers because, as you know, it's important. You shouldn't, I'll put it this way, you can do anything you want to once, but you should not just automatically say, well, we're going to give a 4% TMRS. We have no idea what that's going to cost us, but we're going to go ahead and do it. No, you should not do that. That's why I wanted the numbers, because the 4% number on the TMRS 2-1 was not there. Only the 3% number on the TMRS 2-1 was there, not the 4%. Do you understand?
So was the COLA number
Yeah.
for the general budget?
I'm sorry?
Hold on. So anyways, so you were never proposing a 4% COLA increase, you just wanted to see the numbers?
That's correct.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we then will go into transfers from the bank account. This year for the general fund, showing 0 transfers in from reserves. Look at last year, we brought in that 360 amount. And then this is back to page of all Councilman Wiggins' requests the last time we met and what they come to. And then this is a look at our general fund account, where it started at last fiscal, well, at the start of the fiscal year, we started at $1,650,000. We're at $1,512,000, so looking pretty healthy there. You know, we give our property taxes mainly, December, January coming in, so I think we're holding pretty steady until that point. We're looking pretty good there. This is what's in the general fund checking account, and then also the Moreland checking account, and then the Moreland investment account, what the numbers are sitting at. And then if you wanted to know what your 90-day emergency reserve amount needed is, it's listed there. This is the organizational chart. Did a little bit of update to it, but no changes to how it was substantially, created. Just a different font to it, if you will. And so once we, adopted it, it is as such. This was, again, the holidays. I'm showing it here so we don't bring forward resolutions anymore. Obviously, the holidays have a cost with it. That's the point of showing it during the budget. So if we approve the budget, these holidays would be included. And that leads us to discussion and direction. If anyone has anything they want to say about the proposed budget, proposed tax rate, or the capital improvement items, O&M items as it's installed in our draft budget currently.
Can I make a
Yes, sir.
suggestion? If there
Yes,
is
sir.
someone that wants to talk after our PowerPoint, I would like to do that now, since before we get off the meeting.
If there's any citizen that would like to talk about any of this, you're welcome to step up.
If y'all have questions later, that's fine, I just want to give y'all a chance before we kind of went off in a different direction.
Okay, yes, sir, come on up. You'll be bringing the mic?
Here, we got
Here,
Michael.
we got it right there behind you.
No,
Michael Dorsey.
No,
yes.
no,
Oh,
no, that's okay.
all right. Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
It is on?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ooh,
It's tricky.
yeah. I'm so unstable, but anyway, we'll get it there.
There you go.
First, I want to tell Lawrence what a detailed presentation he's put forward, not only here, I've seen. Not that I agree with all the budget numbers, but he did for a young fella to come in here cold turkey and not know the history and what's going on. You gotta look at the little of the past and what's going on today and what's in the future. It's not an easy thing. I've made many budgets. I worked on City Waco audit several times. But what I see in the sewer is not doing. There's a So therefore, there may be attorney fees, and then I know the situation with BlackRock, it ain't good. You don't know what's coming, you just anticipate the best you can. But what I've seen in proposed rates for the water and the sewer, and the withdrawals, and what we have reserved and what we have now, you're gonna be hard pressed. You're gonna be hard pressed to come up with the money. Either that or you want to deplete all reserves. I've talked about this once before. So, you gotta think hard about this. Because first place, it ain't your money. It's the people's money. And you gotta get it somewhere. Because else you're gonna have to go borrow it. And I don't miss Orange, never want to go borrow the money. But look, I didn't either. I borrowed lots and lots of money. But you borrow money when you can make money. The same thing you don't want to borrow. So I really didn't want to talk. But this is important. You don't want to break the community or the city, but I want to tell Lawrence, even though I don't agree with the numbers particularly, you've done a good job. And not that I agree with the budget, but the presentation and the detail, he had to work a long time. Being cold turkey. And it's difficult. But I want to thank you for that, plus y'all need to partner on this a long time. Do not take all the reserves away, because if, let me say, the well behind my house, and it's happened, it goes down, that's $150,000. And you won't have the money. Then you'll have to borrow. So he puts money in there for the reserve things, or the contingency, it was put back for 90 days. Well, when you do that, you start taking it away from us, and you won't have much money there. That's all. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
So, yeah, I'll just, he's right. I'll go back to that. So the 90-day emergency reserve amount needed, I reworded that. It may have been a little confusing on the last PowerPoint slide. I was looking at that, and like, people may construe that as saying we have an additional 269 somewhere, and we don't. So that's why I reworded this, just saying that's the amount I calculate we need to run for 90 days in an emergency. Like, let's say, God forbid, tornado touchdown, and we can only operate what we have, what we're sitting on in the bank, right? That's the thought. So what I'm showing here is that's the number. It's not a set aside account. That money doesn't exist separately somewhere. That's just a figure saying that's what we need. So therefore, look above, and you'll see that, okay, so we have that amount. But it would be nice if we did have a special account that's sitting in it. That's how most cities do. They're talking about that, sir. That's not what we have set up. But we could set it up, but it's not set up currently.
This is a good thing. I want to tell you that, but, they ain't here running. They just look at numbers. Numbers don't lie. Liars figure, but figures don't lie. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Just prepare for the worst and hope for the best. You don't change. And Mr. Williams is giving you some facts and some numbers, and I know he spent a lot of time on it, so I'm not tooting anybody's horn, I'm just talking about figures.
Well, if there's no other discussion on the proposed budget or tax rate, I'll go into the water unless there's anything else. Okay. All right, we'll get into it. So this is taking a look at water consumption and then also the amount of money I'm projecting. Now again, I want everyone to know that this budget is built with existing rates, right? So that's what we're looking at here. This is the principal and interest payments for water and sewer. We do have, I think, principal starting this upcoming year. We were only paying interest in sewer, but now that principal's now kicking in. This is what's installed currently in the water fund. The TMRS retirement, 3% COLA, excluding city administrator. The benefits, Blue Line is increasing their water rate. I'm estimating it to be at that number for us. I did some calculations, that's why I put approximately. It could be a little bit more, but this would be honestly probably your lowest end number. depends on the usage. And then I also plugged in Gene's Big Daddy trailer mounted sewer jetter. That's the one that council said, let's go ahead after, and I don't disagree, getting a good one, because we're gonna need a good one. And probably not a used trailer mounted sewer jetter. These are as efficient as you get. Most of these have the trucks. They're way more expensive, but we'll give this thing a try. I did reach out to a vendor, another group that does this for a living, and I asked them for a recommendation on this, and they said that they thought it was a good one to get. So I guess we got a recommendation on it. And then the Public Works requested items. There were some various things that they were requesting, and it came to $16,000. So with all of those things that we discussed last budget, that puts us transferring in $70,878. And then below that are some other possible things for consideration if you wanted to do such. And that would include the 4% COLA, 4% increases. The 10-year water tank maintenance plan, I went ahead and put it down there. It's not included. That was the tank plan that y'all looked at before I began here. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wiggins?
Okay, and about that tank plan, remember Gene spoke on that the last meeting, our budget meeting, and he, last time I remember, he recommended that we do that. And I know that we worked on that plan, and I think that's gonna be a good thing, is to go ahead and do that plan. Now, what about if we do that plan, what about that geotech report for the tank maintenance? Will we need that also?
We would, because, so the recommendation on that 10-year plan was replacing one of the ground storage tanks at Friendly Oaks. They don't recommend rehabbing one of them, but doing a replacement. So first year, what they did was they got us the lowest number that they could get to get our foot in the door, if you want to call it that, at $73,000, plus doing $20. That means studying the ground and making sure that the tank can go there. And then year 2, if you will, of that 10-year plan, which would be the next budget after this one, would then go up to like the $250,000 almost every year after that. But the tanks would be on top of the $250,000. The tanks were at, I'm trying to remember, they were a pretty sizable number. They were in our last presentation on this.
I mean, you don't think that we should do a tank maintenance plan?
I do, but part of me, and I'll tell you why I put it in where it's at is, and I'll go to the next slides and that'll help me explain. Let me get to that now. So this is what we have right now in our banking account. We began the year for the waterfront at $1,364,000, and today we're at $400,000. It's dropping like a rock. And so I'll continue. But I wanted to point out here, I didn't show you guys this last time. I was like, well, when did all this start? You can see this is our beginning balances and ending balances. It was really about 2023, 2024. We were at the 2 million range in our waterfront, and then we started slowly dropping, right? We ended there. The next year we started at 1.8, we ended at 1.3. Now we're really accelerating. This year we're at 1.3, and we're at just hundreds of thousands with just a couple months of operating revenue left. Just our standard day-to-day stuff is dropping this account out, and we've really got to make some changes. So I'll go on to this. Now remember, when did we start dropping? The dropping started in 23, 24. So it matches what I found. I showed this last time. This is kind of a list of all the projects that the city's been doing since that same range. You know, 2023, 2024, we just really started transferring a lot of monies in, spending a lot of money on all these projects all at once. So from that year of drop, and including finishing the current project at this amount, which will be another year out, I'm calculating all together, we would have spent in these past 3 years over $24 million, which comes to $8 million a year in expenses. So I guess what I want to tell you guys is we really probably should have spread these projects out a little bit more. But since we've taken so much on, and you know, we signed up for these things, can't just walk away from them. And our revenues are dropping out. We're at the point now, and it's good that we've caught this before we hit rock bottom, but we've got to do something about our revenues because we're expensing more than what we're bringing in. I also want to point out that our original loan amount and grant amount came to us 18 million. Currently, we're at basically 20 million. So with change orders, that means additions and changes to the project. We still have 33% of the project to go. So I kind of highlight here, although that we're showing we're at 20 million, there's still more change orders coming, and I know this. Let me go to the next slide. So this is probably the key to everything at this point. We know the history, but what's next? It's good to know why we're at where we're at. We know the history now, but what is coming down the pipes? Let's look forward. What's coming, and let's prepare ourselves. So to finish this project, which we all want done, we still have $6 million just about, because I know we've got plenty of change orders coming, and I know it'll go over 6. We need $6 million to get this project done, hopefully in a year or less. But our water account currently is only at $419,000. So the math isn't looking too good.
Yeah. One other thing, if you go back, you mind going back right there? If you look at the water fund in that 24, 25, see that 1,048,725? Yeah. That Fall County water line upgrade. See, that's a big amount right there. That's a big thing. The other one was at 408,000 for Old Bethany water line. So we've done some upgrades to our water system that well needed it and was, as you can see, was pretty costly.
Right.
And if you go back to our the money that we have in our account,
And
we went 980,000 is what we used this year. 980,000 for this year. We only put in about 112,000. If you go back,
which one is it?
this one here, the water fund.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yes. Yeah. You see down there withdrawal, 980,000 for the year from October to now.
Okay.
And if you look over there at the reason why on all of them, most of it's to cover expenses.
Right.
Covered water expenses starting at the bottom, going to checks for invoices, so on and so forth. There was one there to cover the sewer at 200,000 in March, but
Right.
it's really going down. I mean, to cover expenses and what's our most expenses has been, this sewer project.
Yeah, this is very easy to look at to say in 1 year time, we've lost $1 million. I mean, that's going to be $300,000 in a month, and that puts us at a year. So we're spending $1 million a year in the water fund right now, and hopefully that changes.
We're having to carry that sewer fund.
Yeah, that's
Sewer
right.
fund don't have no revenue.
Mhm. Right. But if you look at this, I mean, we've done a lot, and sometimes you really need to just kind of spread those things out. But I know that we're all keeping our eye on it now. We can all see it, and I think we're all going to come up with a good game plan and come up with a strategy. So again, we need $6 million to finish this. We're at this amount. So what do we do? I'll go into what I discovered. One other thing in 2013, we used to have outside city limit rates here. This says old inside city limit rates, and this says old outside city limit rates. But in 2013, we adopted an ordinance that just combined the two. Right here it says inside and outside city limit rates. I don't know why you guys did that. I'm sure you had good reasoning, but I can tell you every city I worked for always had outside city limit rates. And the justification for that is these people are not paying taxes, and there's a lot of money, like we're we're saying we want to sign on to a 10-year tank maintenance program that's multi-millions of dollars. Well, you know, basically they're not paying as much as the residents are to do those plans. There's a lot to it and all the maintenance. What's unusual about us is, I'll say for a small town, we have a huge water system. We're a very large water supplier, and that makes our city unique, and it's pretty cool. I enjoy being a part of that. I really like that. I think we've got a lot of opportunity being such a cool provider, and I'd love to grow us in that capacity. I got good plans for us actually to get this thing going, and I'll present those to y'all later. I got some really good ideas to cut some costs and get additional monies for us. But what I'll say is 2/3 of our customers live outside the city limits. So the bulk of people using our water aren't citizens, and we've got a lot of mileage of pipe, a lot. I'll get right over to that. Was there a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
No, I was gonna answer his statement.
Oh, okay, yes, sir.
The reason it changed is because our engineer, Mr. Tabor, we had it fixed before. It's always been that way. He's always illegal. He don't want to talk about
No,
it.
it's
It
not.
was not illegal.
No, it's not.
That's the reason. Now, besides the taxes, you got all the miles of pipe. You gotta have extra elevated storage and pressure storage. Pressure ground storage to get the water out there. 2/3, I did a study in Asia, 2/3 of the customers, like he said, is outside, but 3/4 of the revenue is. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So I was just making a comment to answer his question.
We appreciate it.
Why it was changed? Mr. Taylor did it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, gotcha. No, thank you for that. So, just to give us a little bit more detail, we got some notes here. So, I'm showing that, doing the research, there's like roughly 14 service connections per mile of main. That's a very low amount of service connections, and so basically there's a lot more main we have to maintain in order to service all these people that are not inside our city limits. So they're getting a huge service for that service, because otherwise they would have to drill a well and figure it out. This is the amount of water loss. The Texas Water Development Board showing that we have at this point almost $800,000 in revenue loss in our system. I guess that's going to be from leaks and other things. Again, 2/3 of our customers live outside of city limits. And then I wanted to point out, you know, every city I work for, every city always had cost and a half for outside the city limit customers. And there's a lot of justification for that. And this is the first city I've seen that didn't have in place. But I wanted to point that all out because we've got to figure out, again, what are we going to do about our revenues. So I'll go back to this page real quick. This is our existing tier right now, and it goes for everyone, even commercial. We don't have a commercial account. Usually there's an outside city limit, inside city limit, commercial, industrial. We just have one for everyone. What I'm recommending for adjustments is for our residents, not adjusting the rates, the numbers, but adjusting how we do the tiers, right? So it's $371 in our existing for up to 2,000 gallons. I recommended $371 up to 1,000. So I kept the same numbers, but I adjusted the amounts. And what that comes to for your average resident using, up to 5,000 gallons would be an additional $5, less than $6 a month is what I'm calculating. That's rough estimates for 2 people living in a home. Could vary. The other thing that I came up with as a recommendation to council for trying to figure out what we can do for additional revenues is adjustments to creating an outside city limits rate. Now again, everywhere I've worked, it's always been cost and a half. I've only recommended going up 30%, so we would have the ability to go up another 20% if we wanted on these rates. And these were the numbers that I added, calculated. So I took these and added basically the 30% to it and brought them over. So that's what's going on there. So if we did that for creation of the outside city limits, everyone outside of our city limits, their bill would go roughly up $13.57 is what I'm calculating for your average user.
What about the businesses?
Didn't create a commercial account.
Not yet.
Okay. And so if we looked at that, what would it bring it all to? If we decided to do both of those, I showed the breakout here. Increases, we got your zero usage accounts, which we have a lot of them. What would that bring in? And then all the other things. So if we did both of them, creating the tier adjustment for inside city limit and creating the outside city limit, we would bring in the 270,000 annually. Roughly. Could be a little more.
That's an addition.
Correct. And so this number, you're right, thank you for bringing that up. This number would be in addition to where we're sitting today with existing rates. If we made those two changes that I mentioned, this is what I'm estimating to be bringing in on top of where we're sitting now with our existing rates,
Yes.
changing those rates.
Okay, Mr. Prater has a question?
Yes, sir.
And that's not included with the 394 that we're going to be having within 5 years, right?
That is correct, yeah. So that's a great point. Thanks for pointing that out. So you can see the numbers right here that I did my calculating with. I showed 214 total water accounts, so that's where we sit today for this budget coming up. And then I show how many are outside, how many are inside, and then zero usage. So yes, I did not factor in Eagle Prairie. So I wanted to show also another possibility for the council to consider. If we wanted to bring in more than $270,000, because we are dropping pretty bad. Like we said earlier, we need $6 million to finish this project in 1 year, and we got $400,000. So what are we going to do to get this thing started going the other way for our water fund? This is some of our other options. If the council decided to do a 30% base meter rate adjustment to all accounts, I calculate that it would bring in that amount, another $300,000. Or if you did only 30% base meter rate adjustments to outside city limits, it would bring in $200,000. Or if you decided to do a flat rate fee increase to all accounts, $126,000. Flat rate fee to outside city limit, yeah, $84,000. So what that means is, and I'll go back to a different slide. Your billing, there's a base meter charge, and I think it's like $38 or $39.38. So that's, if you're a zero use user, which we have a lot in this city, you're only paying that a month. You're only paying your base meter rate. And then when you start using, you gotta use 2,000 gallons of water before you can pay $3, the way it's set up currently. So the way I changed it is, you would be paying at 0 to 1,000. So basically your base meter rate from 39, 38 would be going to really essentially that. But if you wanted to bring in additional revenues, that would be an option, is adjusting the base meter rate. So you got an option up to, I'm calculating maybe $600,000 if we were to do the optimum thing, or however you were to decide to bring in revenues. There's options. And you believe me, I'm open ears if there's other ideas on how to calculate or other ways we can bring in revenues, but we've got to do something. So this is just some of the things that I'm proposing as options. I'll back up real quick. I wanted to show you guys real quick. You probably remember this slide from last time, but what I did was this time, and again, I wanted to point out that this is existing benchmarks, meaning every one of these people that we have over here, that's what they had in place, current budget. So I don't know if any of these guys are going to be doing increases like we're talking about right now. They could be. I don't know that. This is just what they have in place now. So I wanted to show if council decided outside city limit, we want to charge a $5 flat rate fee to the base meter rate, I wanted to show you where you would rank in that. Because this graph represents, see the orange up at the bottom? It shows water outside city limit rates, and the blue is water inside city limit rates. So you can see Gatesville has an outside city limit rate and an inside city limit rate. Troy has an outside city limit rate and an inside city limit rate. Hewitt, just inside city limit, just like us currently. Riesel has outside city limit rate, inside city limit rate. So if we were to change, if we wanted to add that $5 flat rate fee to our base meter rate, that's where we would rank. We're still in really good standing, I would argue, you know, running with this whole pack here, you know, as a benchmark of where that would actually put us in the world. I think we'd still look pretty good. This is an outside city limit adjustment at 30%, still looking pretty good. Look at all these other outside city limit rates, they're still much higher than us. This is our existing rate currently, for the base meter rate. And then if we were to do the outside city limit rate, with a $5 increase to it, right there, still looking pretty good, I would argue. And if we were to do the inside city limit rate, 30% adjustment, that's where we would rank a little bit lower down the list. But again, this is going off of last year's numbers. I don't know if any of these people are talking about doing increases right now like we are. They possibly, most likely, a lot of them are, if I had to guess.
The rate is really high.
Yeah, Marina.
So I just kind of wanted you to, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question. Yes,
So
ma'am.
in regards to our neighboring communities, you're proposing to council for you to, I'm inside city limits, so it doesn't have any bearing on me, I'm just wondering. And just a thought I had in my mind when you were going over it, you're proposing possible 30% increase for outside city limit customers.
So,
And you stated that other places that you've worked for in most cities usually do base plus a half.
it's always been cost and a half. So
Okay.
whatever you're charging your residents, whatever that rate is, you can charge that whole rate plus half.
Like if you charge them $50, you can charge them 75.
Yes.
So have you figured that option in and what that dollar amount would look like if you did that?
The 50% for outside city limits.
Base plus 50%.
Right, right.
Calculation here.
So we can, this is just options for council to
Right,
discuss.
right.
And then we can, like, if council says, yeah, let's figure this out, we can, you know. I didn't really get any direction on what
Well,
numbers.
Then the second part of my question is, what does Troy do for outside city limits? What does Moody do? What does Marina do?
It's right here.
Troy does 28.50 and,
Is it base plus
Yeah.
50%?
Let me show you. So if, like, let's say Troy.
oh, what percent do they use? That's what she
Yeah.
wants to know.
Yeah.
I don't know, we can check on what.
I'll
percent.
show you what Troy's actually using, and then you can figure out percentages yourself if you like. So Troy is, what they have is a water outside city limit rate right there at the 32.50, and then they have an inside city limit rate at 28.50. So that's what you start off with, and then you'll also then go to this second page. What I was going to get into is this is a comparison of usage. So if everyone, like 2 people in a home should use roughly 5,000 gallons a month. So Troy, this is what I'm estimating they should be using. This is what their bill should be at the 5,000 gallons a month. So that should be your total, what is that? My eyes are bad, $62.50.
That's for outside.
Yeah. So each one of these, again, so like that orange represents outside city limit, blue represents inside city limit. This is where we're existing right now. We just have the inside city limit. So I wanted to show, last time I didn't break out if council did the outside city limit, what that 5,000 gallon estimated bill would look like. And this is it right here, $73.98. And then this is the inside city limit rate. If you were to there adjust it, it would come to $65.99. So I wanted to show you if you were to do those 30% changes outside city limit, 30% change inside city limit, this is where you rank in what they call a benchmark. I mean, for your outside city limit, even if we did the 30%, you're still running in the middle, not even in the middle of your comparison benchmark, I would say, our neighbors,
Neighbor cities.
yeah, and competitors. And for your inside city limit, if you adjusted that, we're still here, pretty close to the middle. So we would be moving essentially from where we're at in yellow to these two tiers if we were to create that. So I think we benchmarked pretty well, in trying to justify where would we land in all of this. So I don't know if anyone wants to kind of look at this anymore or just have any questions or maybe move on.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wiggins.
Okay, if we do that, if you can go back to that
This one.
page, this one here,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. If we do that, then based on your figures there, it's estimated about nearly $6, a little less than 6 increase on the inside. And then if you did a $5 base rate adjustment, that's another 5. So basically you're looking at $10, $10.50, $10.60,
Correct.
And now you add another, go back to there you go, nope, right there. And on the outside, you'd add another $5 if you did that base rate for everybody. So that'd be $18.50 on the outside, $10 or $11, going up $11 and then going up 18 on the outside. It's quite a bit for one time, but not,
It was my understanding that those were the different options that we had, right? I mean, like, we didn't have to do all the things, it was either this or that, or we could do,
Correct.
is that right?
Yes.
I didn't think it was like everything was added on top.
Right.
It was just, we could do this, or we could do that.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
If we did the proposed, this page, creating the tier adjustment for inside city limit, and then creating an outside city limit, if we did those, I'm estimating we'd bring in around 270,000. Could be a little more, this was kind of an estimate, doing some numbers. So then if you wanted to bring in additional money, then you go to this page, and here's your options if you did some $5 flat rate charges, and then these are some different options if you did 30% meter, base meter adjustments.
Okay, I do know that with Blue Bond and stuff, everybody going up on the water rates that we're having to use, and mostly everybody on the outside of city limits is using the Blue Bond water. And I know it's gonna end up going up, so so I'd rather go at a smaller, like the first one, a smaller scale of going up, is my opinion, because here soon, within a year, we're gonna be back here trying to go up a little bit more, plus we're gonna be bringing in the sewer charges per person each month. So, I'd rather go at a lower rate, raising the water right now, because the others are gonna have, they're gonna have the sewer hooked on that for too long. And then if we have to go up later, we can see that. I mean, my water bill's never normal. I mean, it's $300-400 a month every month because of my house. But, it's not gonna help me, which is, a big deal, but I'd rather have it start and see how it's going. Then if it doesn't, we can say, okay, let's use this portion of this, let's start out here, and let's give it 6 months or something, and see where we're sitting. See if it's really bringing in, and then if we have to, we could maybe go up or something. If not, wait till see what the sewer brings in, and then go up with it. That's just my opinion, Mr. Richardson?
I get what you're saying, Mayor. My only thought is that at this point, looking at our history, I would just assume the sewer is not going, I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but I wouldn't plan anything on sewer revenue.
On sewer, yeah, okay.
I mean,
I just didn't want
if we get the sewer up and running, we start bringing in revenue. No, you're good. But if we get the sewer up and running, start bringing in revenue within the year, wonderful. But I think that it'd be more prudent for us to plan on that still being zero this time next year.
Yes,
Because
okay.
and if we're wrong, great, if we're right, we plan for it, that's just my 2 cents.
Makes sense, sir, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, please, if you don't mind. That way the people can hear it tomorrow.
Okay. Looking at our system, 2/3 of our system being outside the city limits, that's a lot of maintenance area. That means that Gene and his crew are running all over the countryside trying to fix water leaks. Plus they're having to drain dead end lines all the time.
Yes, sir.
And that's wasting a lot of money, but you gotta do that because of Legionnaires' disease. So those people that live outside the city limits, I feel they need to pay a little bit more because they're getting a lot of the benefits and not paying much for it.
They don't have to pay a lot of taxes that we could get for revenue. Uh-oh, here comes an outside. No. Yes, sir, come on.
State your name and your address.
Can we take a vote on this before we let them?
I'm at the end of Maggie Range Road, at the end of the water, and it's never been flushed. And I've replaced utilities in my house several times because of it. It's never been replaced. I'm a little confused. I got a hell of a water bill this week, this morning. But I left it on, my problem. I'm a little shocked at how the bill, this is literally the only thing I've ever seen where the more you buy, the more you pay for it. That makes no sense. The other thing is, I paid for my service to get to my house. About 8,000 foot of pipe I put in the ground. From the bottom of the hill up, and it was tied to 3 miles of 1-inch line. So when we talk about all those people that's out in the outside community, first off, you don't pick up my trash. I pay somebody to pick up my trash. So I don't even get the other services. If you really look at this is a little out of whack. I don't care. I'm going to pay the bill, whatever. I need water. In hindsight, it'd be better if I drilled a well. It would be cost me less. It'd be a whole lot less problems, and I wouldn't have this going on. But assuming that people out in the country do this, maybe you don't know how it works, but if I buy a piece of property and it's in your water district, you have to provide me with water no matter where I'm at. I have to spend that money to get it to me and upside everything to get it to me. Okay, so let's not kid ourselves about these people who live on the outside. Yes, we're helping pay for the water, but we also pay a big chunk of it, and then we turn right around before they give us 1 drop of water and turn all that money we spent over to the water board. We don't own none of it, and it's all new. There's no 3 miles of 1-inch rusted line in the ground in my house. I run a bunch 2-inch line up that hill, knowing they couldn't provide me with water, and I sit there with it for 6 years, almost never having water, because they didn't do what they said. This is not you guys, but the water department didn't do what they said they would. So I've been a little easy on people that are outside. I got to be honest with you. I know how the water system works, and whether you're getting water here at City Hall or you're getting water at my house, doesn't take any more effort. The same pumps pump the same water. It's all the same water. I don't care where Blue Bonnet water comes into the system. It's all mitigated together. So the water I get is not Blue Bonnet water. It's Bruceville-Eddy water. Just like everybody else gets it. I'm a little shocked, and this is my own ignorance. I'm still baffled by, well, you had a number up there I didn't quite understand. We're spending almost $1 million, $750,000, paying for water. It's either that or that's the number of gallons. Which is it?
Which slide?
You had a number up there, 700-something thousand. It said dollars, but is that the cost of the water that we're losing, or is that the number of gallons?
Yeah.
That's the one we're losing.
That's the Texas Water Development Board. We had to do a water loss audit report, and that's the number that they kicked out to us.
But is that money or gallons for water?
Money.
Okay, so and I almost guarantee you that money's not with people like me that's outside the community, because we had to put new PVC pipe in. That's an old system, primarily in the local area here. That's couldn't run a business if I was losing that kind of money on anything. Now, I just wouldn't run a business, shut it down. I'm not suggesting we do that here. But we certainly, and I think I talked to Richard a little bit about this, we're in the middle of, I mean, it's dry, everything's dead. It should not be that hard to find where this water's going. So, first off, that's 3 times, well, twice the money we're talking about, over twice the money we're talking about trying to come up with. Just right there in lost money. That's just throwing the money out the window. Let's find out where the holes are, fix them. It's really not that hard. There's valves, you can cut off stuff, you can find out where the water's leaking. You guys know the flow of your water. So, this is not a big issue. Let's fix it. And then we won't have citizens feeling like they're getting a little, you know. I'm going to pay, but there's times in my life I couldn't pay what you guys are doing here. And I know there's people in this community who can't. So, let's be serious. You know, I see a lot of people complain, and I'm willing to do anything you need to help you find your problems and fix them. I'm not just up here to complain. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out some things, really. But you know, we always talk about small town communities. Small towns are like people, families. They get together and they help each other. They fix the problems. They don't complain to each other all the time. They help fix the problem. That's a big problem to me. And if we didn't have that problem, we might not be paying Blue Bonnet this ungodly amount of money we're paying them to get whatever we're getting from them. You know, this is crazy. Let's go another way. What's that cost? You know. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Does anybody? Yes, Mr. Williams.
Oh, okay. As far as the water on the outside, first off, we have a big water system, as you've seen there. And it's not like it's just right here in town.
Right.
Okay? So, and the water lines just don't run along the street. So, as far as finding those leaks, they might be out in a field somewhere, you know, that we don't go out there and see. Now, we've talked about getting some drones, and that'd be a great idea, you know, to fly out through there where we can't get out there. You might not be able to get out there maybe on horseback or something, but you can get that drone. So, with our big system like that, it's not like we just run out there tomorrow and fix all these leaks. I mean, you make it seem simple, but it's not. And then with the, as far as the water, from what Gene says, and from my understanding, is Blue Bonnet water, which is water's going up on us. More people on the outside get Blue Bonnet water than versus on the inside. Now that's what Gene said, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right,
We have two separate
so we
systems.
know that's a fact, that the Blue Bonnet water, the people on the outside of the city limits get more Blue Bonnet water than the inside. So we know that's a fact.
Okay, 2/3 of the citizens that use our water are on the outside of the city limits.
I understand, but now we're saying we have two different water systems.
We have, well, what happens on Blue Bonnet, okay? Most of the water stuff that we have, the citizens use here. But Blue Bonnet, whether we use a gallon or we use none, they charge us so much a month for it.
Right.
We're getting into the part now where we're gonna be using a lot of Blue Bonnet water because to make sure everybody gets the water they need to survive or to make it, you know. And so we went to meetings with them and they are going up. They're raising their prices again. And I forget how, we spend what, $60-something thousand a month or something like that in Blue Bonnet?
We spent annually, well, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like close to $1 million.
For a year ago.
Right. I think that's what you told us.
Yeah, something like
Somewhere in that neighborhood, it's
Yeah.
crazy amount.
Yeah, I've got actually a really good idea on that particularly that I'll be bringing in the future to get resolved actually.
Joyce has a question,
I have a comment.
or a comment, excuse me, ma'am.
I understand nobody likes their water bill to go up,
I don't like mine going up. But the bottom line is, we gotta generate some revenue to pay our bills. I mean, the budget's showing it. I appreciate the work Mr. Patron's done on researching other small towns. CW, you mentioned small towns. Well, when you look at the other small towns, what are they doing? They're charging more to those who are outside the city limits. You have to have those lines maintained, and like Mr. Wiggins said, we've got, and the mayor too, and all of y'all out there have said, we've got a lot of miles of lines that aren't even in our city limits that we have to maintain. So those folks who live outside the city limits, I agree, need to pay more. I'm all for that. I like the proposal, 30% rather than 50. You're keeping it down. It's not as much as what you see other cities doing. But the bottom line is, we've got to generate some revenue to pay our bills. We've gotten into a position where that just has to happen. And it has to be a certain amount in order to cover what we've got, right? Isn't that right? It has to be a certain amount. And the proposal that's in front of us comes up with that amount where we can operate and make sure people have water, make sure their lines are maintained. There'll still be a fine line, but when Eagle Prairie comes on and the sewer comes on, that's gonna help, but we don't know when that's gonna be. So we gotta think about that. And so I appreciate the proposal, and personally, I'm in agreement with it. I think it's a good proposal, and it will get the job done. I'm sorry, CW.
Don't
Sorry,
worry about it,
that's my opinion.
Okay, Mr. Richards, sorry.
I just kind of wanted to, CW mentioned the 772,000. That was something we discussed about the leaks and stuff. Chief Dorsey has bought a drone and they got their certification and everything. That was something I talked with Chief Dorsey and Gene about in the last meeting. Coordinate now that it's dry and everything's dead.
Yeah.
If the PD has time, start flying that drone, with Gene, start flying that drone over some of those hard to spot places, start finding some of those leaks. And also, hopefully that number includes all the times BlackRock hit one of our water mains drilling around.
Well,
So hopefully
was
just
the previous one, I mean, how much difference was it between the time they were working here and prior to that?
I don't know.
Do we know? I mean,
We've always lost water.
well, I know we have, Maggie Ranch down there, got all 20 acres there, stayed flooded most of the time for 20 years I lived here. But I mean, we don't have any idea. I know we lost a lot of water during that time. But comparably, we're still talking. If any one of us, I lost $700 worth of water, I bet you I don't do it again. You know, I'm just saying, if it was just $500,000, that's still a lot of money. And for a water system here, and I don't make light, I've done this kind of work before. I'm not volunteering to do work, I'll help with whatever. But I'm not looking to get hired to do anything. But finding water leaks, while it may be hard, it's not impossible. You've got a working water system. You have valves you can cut off a certain area. You can find out. You can run flow meters to tell you how much water is running in that line when it shouldn't have anything running in it. There's ways to do it.
Right.
I'm not making little of it. but one thing I've seen happen here a lot, and it's not just with you, I mean, this has been a continuous thing, is that things get told to the citizens that's not quite up to snuff. I understand that there's a concept that, well, it costs more to get water to the outside system. First out, everything outside the city is newer system than what's in the city. Because every one of us have to run our own lines out there. We don't have a bunch of rusty pipe that's busted. In-city does. I'm not saying they should pay more. Me personally, I just feel it a little baffling that it costs any more for me to get water than it does somebody else across the street here. Because once the water's in the system, and I know you're saying we have two different systems, but that's not how water systems in one point, and it can go anywhere in that system, which means we're all getting bluebonnet water. If we're saying we don't want anybody outside the city to be part of the water system, then maybe you guys need to consider doing something different. But now I come down, I'm not in the city limits. I have no problem with taking responsibility for the city or whatever they're doing and doing my share. When we start separating people in respect to that, when we're having conversations like this, you know, might be the reason there's only a handful of people here. This is kind of an important meeting in my mind. The reason I went to the trouble of taking a bath to come down here so nobody else knows. You know,
It's appreciated.
Well, one other thing, you know, as you can bring that up again, about the other cities.
Oh, yeah.
Bring that up. Now, see all these other cities
yeah.
that have rates on the outside of the water system that's higher? So it's not like we're the only one that's gonna do that. And as far as the system, we don't have one system, we don't have a bluebonnet system. We have where we get water from bluebonnet, just like we have Talbot well, Ford well, different wells, you know.
So like, if we created the outside, you would go from here, all your outside people are paying this now, and then they would go here, which is still run, the reason why I made this chart is we need to look at where that puts you. We're not even near these people down here. Taking our outside people from here to here is what we're talking about, right? And then this would be taking our inside people from here to here, comparatively, right?
Yeah, it looks like from what we have there, we'll have 5 other systems, I'm gonna say, by looking at that, that'll be higher than us. And then we'll be higher than all the other ones.
Right.
What it looks to me like.
Yeah, currently-
Got orange lines, looking at them.
Currently-
I see 5 more.
Yeah, currently we're behind the times up here, right? I mean, people are making adjustments, right, for inflation, because like we have chemicals to treat water, and believe me, they go through the roof. And then plus all the other parts, and we're talking about we want to sign on to a 10-year tank maintenance plan that's multi-million-dollars. Well, how do we fund it when we literally have $400,000 right now, and we know it's tanking, and we just really got a couple months to even operate?
Yeah, well, might have to put that on hold.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
When is the last time, I'm sorry that I don't know, I've only lived here 30 years, but when is the last time we've had a rate increase in our water? In our
It's
water?
November of 22.
22?
Yeah.
1922?
So it's recommended.
No, 20.
2022.
And that is recommended to do it every 3 years, is what they say. If they say 5, then you really are missing the mark. So we're right in between the two. We're getting close to missing the mark. But I would argue these days with inflation, they're saying, do you really believe that inflation's at 4%? I don't believe that. Like, did your groceries go up just 4%? You know?
Well,
Yeah,
I don't think
neither did
grocery
my
control is
gas.
even involved in that now.
Yeah.
I think they took that out of the equation, so we would see the spot rate.
Yeah, because they argue it's variable.
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right, right now it is,
One more thing.
yes, ma'am.
I'm all for helping with the current situation. I'm not opposing having a rate increase. I personally know that there's people in our community that truly do struggle. So if we're going to have a rate increase this year, please be sure that it's going to help enough and that you don't have to come back next year and do it again.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then again, this year we're not recommending a tax rate increase.
Okay, right now it is 7:39, I believe this is what my watch, yeah, 7:39, and we're going to take a small break for like 3 minutes or so.
How long?
Yeah.
All right, we are now, it is, let me see what time it is, 7:49, and our break is over, and we're back at our special call council meeting.
So I think where I'd like to leave you guys is, we'll talk about that real quick. What we talked about coming out of reserves per the CIP Wanted to back up real quick to, again, this section. We know the history of where we're at, just kind of a lot of spending and, not really considering what to do about revenues, but now we're looking at that now. This is our future. We've got this $6 million staring us in the face. We're at $419,000 right now, so revenues, right? So what we need to look at is, we had an outside city limit rate at one time. I recommend we going back to that. For the different options here, this is a benchmark. If we create the outside city limit rate, where they're going to be at 73,000. I'm sorry. Right now, if we at existing rates, where your inside city limit people, outside city limit people have a $60 bill monthly. But outside city limit, if we made their category, their bill would go up to $73.98 is what I'm estimating, about $13 additional. Inside city limit, $65.99. So about the $6. So if everyone's comfortable with creating those, that's where that would be. But the other issue that we were trying to figure out is, do we want to bring in more than that $270,000 a year? Are we comfortable with just that? These are the other options. If you made a $5 flat rate fee for inside outside, or if we went 30% inside outside, or a combination thereof. It depends how much your target is you want to bring in a year. You want to bring in $500,000 a year, $600,000 a year? Are you comfortable with the nearly $300,000 a year? What I would like to say is, I'm not sure if we're going to need to go and get another loan to finish this project. We may. I'm not sure. But if we do, they will look at what we're talking about now, and they'll force us into doing some sort of rate increase. So hopefully we can just get it right now and not have to look at this again in probably another couple months. I hope we don't need to get a loan, but I think if we could figure out what this right number is, maybe we could get by and try to just not do so many additional projects and just focus on finishing projects we have now.
We have started already.
Yeah,
And I agree with that, because I'd rather be able to control what we're asking people to raise is, and then for the institute to come in and go, no, y'all need to increase it this much. Mr. Robinson. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I am sorry, Rick.
Okay,
And then you.
we don't, the trash service has a commercial rate here with BE. Why can't we do a commercial water rate here? I know we don't have much commercial business in town, but there will be eventually.
Yes, sir.
So why can't we go back and get a commercial water rate too?
That's very smart. Yes, sir.
I mean, you got accent. Aren't they on our water supply?
Yeah.
That ought to be a commercial account.
All the restaurants.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, right now, Accent is a good point. Right now, Accent is paying just like what you're paying, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing about Accent, they're outside city limits, so they would be getting hit with this 30% over here, and they're a high user. So that's what will be happening with them. So at this point, I'd say it's attractive to open your business inside city limits, right? Let's maybe get some businesses here and then swap on
They
them.
can give it.
We'll do the whole.
Even the money we're in right now, go ahead on and get a commercial rate.
Don't switch
It
it.
doesn't have to be put the screws to them totally, but get a commercial rate set up for those that are here.
Yeah.
And get a little more income from that.
True, we don't,
So,
we don't have a lot of business, but we have a few.
we don't have it set up right now, but again, this is what we would have if we agreed on that other set. The other main thing I think what we need to consider is, this is existing right now. But if we did, these are both outside city limits, a $5 increase would put them at here. And this is the outside of 30% will put them here. They're still doing very well comparatively to our competitors.
Okay,
This
we
is
have a
existing,
question.
and then this is adding $5 and 30%. Yeah.
We have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the things that, when we're looking at these rate increases, we do have to consider the people in the community here, because if we hit them too hard, what you're gonna have really is a lot of unpaid bills. Okay, there's a breaking point somewhere, and I think we're working hard to find that breaking point.
Yes,
Another
yes, Mr. Wiggins.
another thing on the inside of the city, you know, some of the people, not all of them, but some of them is gonna be hit with the sewer rates. And so that'll be additional money that they'll have to pay. You know, I do think there's validity in what Rick is saying. You know, we wanna say that other cities do the 50% and we can do 30. Well, what does other cities do on the industrial?
Oh, yeah, so other cities have varying rates, industry, commercial, residential, inside, outside. There's a lot of different tiers. All we have right now is just one, right?
Well, there's a lot of businesses, when they come in, they make arrangements to have breaks on some of this stuff. That's the reason they come into your community. But they're
Right.
bringing a lot to the party.
Right.
I understand you're providing a lot, but that has a lot to do with where they look to put their business.
I have another question.
I
I have another
Right,
question.
yeah, different size meters or a different base rate here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, question? Then out here, I have another question. Just
So
when he gets
going-
done, we need you, sir.
So going back to what Mr. Evans was saying, I guess my question, instead of like that commercial rate, could we just add that to say the September's agenda as a separate item, and discuss that rather than trying to make this into what we're doing? Just separate it out and we'll look at that.
I'd say, guys, it's a great idea, but it's gonna be a drop in the bucket, because we don't really have that much commercial here. I would say just doing this for now would be fine. It's a great idea, it's a worthy idea, but I didn't want to add a whole bunch onto the citizens just yet. I thought it was a big enough hill to climb, trying to get back outside city limits, because this is the thing, where is the bulk of our users? The bulk of our users are outside city limits, so that's where you're gonna make your monies.
Okay, Mr. Evans, you need something?
I'm good on that.
You are okay?
But I agree, we should do it at some point. I didn't
Yes,
want to do a
ma'am.
whole bunch all at once.
Yes, ma'am?
I think maybe we address entertaining the commercial. I think once we have the sewer system, that we have the ability to draw in more commercial type accounts.
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I think their tap fees are higher, aren't they, and so are their water.
Well, everyone pays the same.
So it's taxes.
When they tap,
Oh, tap fees.
do some they have
Tap
2
fee.
weeks maintenance?
Depends on what size tap it is, yeah.
Everyone pays the same amount for doing a tap. Yeah.
Really?
The meters are different
Right.
prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if y'all wanted to look at commercial, I would say just the easy thing to do so we can get past this meeting, because we have to vote on this tonight. We're running up against like state mandated deadlines. We really need to take a vote on this tonight. Because the law says this has to be filed with the clerk for 30 days for the public to inspect before we can then finalize. So that puts us at the September meetings for finalization of this.
I thought that's when we vote on it, it's a September meeting. So we
Yeah.
don't have to vote tonight.
Tonight is, we have to take a vote for proposed budget and proposed tax rate.
Yeah.
Then it files for 30 days with clerk for inspection by the public. We do it once, and I gotta do all these notices and all these hearings. And then after the 30 days, we'll re-meet for adoption of budget, hearings, adoption of tax rate. Tonight's adoption of proposed budget and proposed tax rate. It goes back to the state law.
Yeah.
If
So
we
it's
just
not
don't
on
mean
your
if it's-
proposed budget tonight. Yes, sir.
If we vote on the proposed budget tonight, that don't mean that come time to vote on the final budget that we couldn't change something.
I think you could.
Yeah.
I think you could.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Mr. Richardson. Okay, all right, thank you, sir. Okay, you got it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Your back's against the
Okay,
wall.
So, all right, so, well, we've already seen this now, so we just need to, vote
Yeah.
on proposed budget for what, the increase.
Because again, you got different things, right? If you wanted to do a flat rate to your citizens and then 30% outside city limit or nothing, whatever. It's just, these are some different revenues. You have to add up what your strategy is if you want to talk about bringing in more than 270. Because again, let's just not forget, we need to finish our project.
And we still need $6 million.
This is what we have, and this is what we need. And do we need to go get another loan? I don't know.
Okay, well, okay, is everybody,
What,
well, we've already gone through number one, we haven't even went to two yet, B, tax rate.
I don't know if anyone wants to talk about this, or just let me go ahead and finish.
Okay, go ahead and finish that, then Mr.
Yeah,
Wiggins has.
okay, yeah, I'll just keep going then, I kind of beat this to death. I was just trying to show y'all that how it breaks out, really, if you want to know where we sit with these options, this is what you want to look at, right, where we compare. And again, this is how we compare today. All of these people right now are having the same discussion as we are, and are probably going up, right? We're looking at old numbers anyway. So, anyway, I'll keep going. This is where our checking account is, water investment account, and then here we are with how do we remedy our dropping water fund? What are your thoughts? I'll take any thoughts, whatever your thoughts are. And if we did want to do water rate increases, when do you want me to bring that back in an ordinance? Because although we say let's do it, okay, we had that discussion, now you gave me authority to go ahead and start creating an ordinance and then bring that back to you.
Okay. All right, so we have, Mr. Wiggins, did you, on that right there, you have a question on
Okay,
that?
so it sounds to me like, just where I'm getting this down, the flow, sounds to me like you wanna know if we wanna do that, what we wanna do on the water rate adjustment, if any. And my opinion is kinda like you have here, do the tier adjustment and the 30% on the outside. So that'd be a rough estimate of about a little less than $6 increase bill on the inside and $13.57 on the outside increase. And just do that average out. And just do that. Well, I'm just feeling it out here. And just do that only and not the base rate, because as we've heard, some of the citizens, you know, on the inside are struggling, and we know that probably half of them are gonna get hit with sewer too. Yeah, I don't know if that's the way you want to feel. That's just
Yeah,
He said exactly what.
yeah.
all right.
So is there any,
Yes, sir, Mr. Richardson.
so just to kind of clarify on this, so is there anybody that disagrees or has a different opinion on this, like Mr. Wiggins said, it's 30% base rate? I mean, let's discuss that, if not, let's make a motion.
Okay.
Can I make one more point?
Okay, one more point.
I want to point out to you the amount of zero users we have. There are outside city limit, zero users outside city limit are 84, inside city limit, wait a minute, I got it right here. Zero users right here inside city limits are 622, yeah. And then zero usage outside city limit, that's at 1,003. Yeah.
There's running 1,350 people outside the city limits.
Yeah.
It's not using, they're using zero water, so they just pay
Yeah.
basic.
So there's kind of a lot of people not using water, you know, so if you did a flat $5 rate, that gets them to, instead of just paying the meter.
$40, they pay out.
We're already hitting them with 30%.
Right. Well, no, if you're a zero user, they are only
They're only paying
increasing
the minimum.
because you're not talking about doing a base rate adjustment, right?
Yeah. Right now, that's.
So if you're a zero user, then they're not, there's no base rate.
They're only paying $40, they're paying $40 around $40 a month, so now they have to pay 45.
Yeah, but so would the other people.
On the outside, they would pay about $70.
Yeah, but so would the other people that's on the outside that
So,
are using, you're kicking them right up $5 more too.
What would happen with the zero users, just so you know, being transparent, this is what everyone pays right now, but zero users don't, in our current system, they don't pay
Any of that.
any of this, right? They're just, and we have a lot of them. And when I first started here, people call me all the time, I want a meter. I'm like, are you building? Where's your building permits? I'm like, you're gonna go set a meter in a field, you don't even know where you're putting your house, you don't know where this thing's facing, and you don't even put a meter in until you're done with construction, because it's gonna get crushed. And it just mystified me, but the longer I've been here, I realized, oh, we have a meter feasibility study, and people are catching on.
Yeah.
And they're like, let me go put a meter on before I get stuck having to do a main increase.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got a whole bunch of these because everyone's been figured out, and so we've got a policy in place saying there's a finite number of meters we have in this town by that.
Okay,
And
so.
now people are taking advantage of the system if you really think about it, by just giving me a meter and I'm not gonna use.
So the inside city limits would be paying, they got the $5, would be paying.
Add that on top
$45.
of
And
the
then the
amount.
other place would be paying, $53 a month.
So add what I just described on top of all that mileage of pipe we have outside the city limits, right, that we have to maintain. There's more main than there is services.
Yeah.
So it's just you're getting hit with some other factors. I want you just to be aware of for your consideration. So if we did do that tier adjustment, right, how I'm adjusting things, notice I put it to 0. So now your 0 users are not only getting hit with base rate, but they automatically are now getting hit with $3, right? And then outside 0 users, 0 limit users are getting hit with that by default. But it's just not, it's not a lot for the amount of 0 users you have. So I just want to point that out, but I'll let the discussion go.
Yeah, so now does anybody, y'all want to, do a motion on this proposed budget?
Okay, I guess a motion is, I'll make a motion that we do the tier rate only and with the 30% on the outside. And the inside, just whatever you have there for the tier rate.
Okay.
And no
base rate.
No base rate.
No base rate increase for the inside?
No base rate increase for anyone.
Okay, what's the 30% for?
Yeah, that's the tier on the outside.
30% tier. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 30, you know, as it says,
Okay.
proposed rate adjustment for outside.
Okay, all right. Do I have a second on what he said?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Unanimous, okay, so that is our proposed rate.
All right. So we're just doing the.
So proposed, that
Yep.
don't mean it has not, it's not law.
Correct. So no base rate, but the other two fly. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That was a good discussion.
All right, now, let's go to, okay, Mr. Wiggins.
Okay. I have on the water fund and sewer fund, some more.
Oh, yeah, let me go back to so last time we met, these were your requested changes.
Okay. Okay, on the water fund rate, if you go to that page 2.
Is it on this one or no?
Yeah, it is. It's, that overtime. And I know that probably part of this is due to BlackRock, you know, or whatever. But you're showing 32, 5, and we're tracking right now overtime of 42, 349. And what did I have? 35 is what I had. So, again, we know where we're at, kind of on our water system. Do we think we're still gonna have overtime? And we might be fixing more leaks if we find them, you know, wherever. And to move on down to another one. I'm trying to push this along. If you go down to the attorney fees at 6202, you've got
25 budget.
yeah, 25,000 budgeted. Good Lord, we've already used over 57,000 year to date, and we only budgeted 50, and 24, 25, we did nearly 101,000, and then of course it dropped down about 17,000, 23, 24. I just don't see, and right now we're tracking 68, nearly 69,000, 68, 917 is what we're tracking. So, what did I have on that? Lawrence, I mean, if we're tracking at 68,
You
917,
requested.
God, I can't see.
Do you not have your copy, Mr. Wiggins, in front of you, so we don't watch that?
Yeah, 60,000, yeah. 60,000 is what I had requested. Yeah, I know a big difference, but like I said, you know, numbers don't lie.
Okay, Mr. Prater has a question.
Okay.
Let's get, Mr. Prater?
A lot of that was in PU cases, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And they're behind on that now.
Well,
Yes, sir, we are. Okay, Mr. Richardson, you had a question?
Just two things. Was that, overtime, that number, did that include when we paid out the, what was it called? Basically, the accrued leave that they were supposed to take?
Yeah,
But
but
we
now
go
we-
through the
yeah,
cracks, and so
now
we
it's-
have like $10,000 or $15,000 worth of checks.
Yeah, we've done that.
Is that
Now
included
it's-
in that overtime figure? Do we know when we're
I
not?
would say so, if it was expense, if it was an expense this year, then yes.
Yeah, so that's why it's.
So that would kind of, I mean, unless we're making the same mistake twice in a row.
No, we are.
Could be.
They cannot get over 40 hours now,
Yeah, that's what
they
they-
have to take off, we make them take off.
So unless we're making that same
Yeah.
mistake, that number's probably a little inflated, and just kind of agree with Mr. Prater on the attorney number's probably a little inflated.
That's right, yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, Mr. Williams.
okay. Yeah, on that attorney number, as he shown a while ago, that 150,000, that was started back in 23, so that's 3 years worth. So, I mean,
But was that
can't just hang your head on that one DUC case.
Yeah, but I
Because
don't.
we have a lot of other attorney fees too, we don't just have DUC cases. And so we have to pay them bills too. And then, to moving on that, we're going down to fittings and supplies, page 3 on the water fund, which is 6703. Yeah, you got, right now we're at 93, over 93,000 that we've already, year to date, we budgeted 100. And we're tracking like 112,000 right now. We know that those fittings and supplies are not gonna be cheaper. And, I'm saying 110 on that. So raising that to 10,000. Again, we're trying to, it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get it where it's close to right as possible? Are you trying to, let's keep it low where it don't look like we're gonna use much money? And then, when you're over budgeted, what are you gonna do? It's gonna happen, but what are you gonna do when your budget runs up? But, I mean, we're trying to get it down to the best we can. So all I'm doing is putting
Okay,
the numbers out there.
Mr. Prater, you have a question?
Well, I was just gonna say, once again, a lot of them fittings that we've been spending this year have been from the BlackRock bids.
That's right.
And we've been paying that out of our project. So that number may be inflated a little bit
Because of that.
because of that. So
Yeah.
They've hit all our water
Yeah,
lines.
and as I said, what we're discussing now is just
Right.
what, everybody has the right to say what they want with the budget. They don't have to agree with Mr.
Right.
Wiggins, they don't have to agree with you, they don't have to agree with
Right, I
anybody.
was just
until right now.
bringing it to
Yeah,
the attention that
and I
we're
understand,
spending a lot of money.
yeah, I appreciate that. You are making sense. Yes, sir.
Okay, I would note that if you look at this budget, the way it's printed out here, that if you look back all the way to the 23-24, okay, that was 54,000. That's before we started doing the BlackRock and all the damages with BlackRock. So that's more realistic of what the norm is than all the BlackRock damage, which was another $54,000, it looks like. So,
It could be, you don't ever know, time will tell. You look at this next year and we'll see who's right. But, anyway, then moving on down to that, repairs, wells, pump house, at 6708. We've got, 36,680 so far year to date, so we're tracking 44,016.
and again, I note that back in 2023, prior to our experience there with BlackRock, that was 46,000. So it went up to 150,000, came year to date with 36. So prior to all of our who was 46.
Yeah, and we're predicting 27.
We go to the
I was
next one.
kind of agreeing with you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, I think we ought to go up on that one myself, but like I said, I'm just throwing the numbers out there. Agree, disagree, y'all put it down to 0 if you want to. You'll find out next year though, it'll be different.
I guess.
Yes, sir,
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Richardson.
Mr. Williams, are you done with your changes?
Oh,
Let's get it done.
Is this like still the
on
same?
this page,
Is this the same thing
Yeah,
or is there
he's
further
going
added?
page to page.
Okay. I will.
Yeah, he's going page to page.
Was it?
yeah, I'm just going, yeah, I don't know about that, you know, like I said, yours changed, mine changed.
No, no, yeah, that's what I'm
So you don't have, I didn't have that down here.
No, you and I
Yeah.
met, and I recorded everything you did.
Yes,
We went
that's
through it all day.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. As I'm asking.
And since that time, I changed mine.
That's what I'm asking. Okay, that wasn't clear on.
Okay, one at a time, please.
Okay.
Don't argue
Yeah.
back and forth with each other.
Yeah, I'm just saying, all I'm saying there is, just because that's what was last time, that don't mean that I didn't change my mind or look at things and see something different, just as y'all did, or you did on the budget, okay?
All right, I got my hand raised. Okay. Because the first time that the budget was started, our city administrator was working really hard on it, and then that's when we had, you came in, Mr. Wiggins and Mr. Prater, and it was 6 hours that y'all discussed, and you gave him your opinion on this stuff. Now we're going through your opinion again, even though we've already been through it once. So,
Well, ma'am, okay, let me know when it's time to
all
talk.
right, you can talk. Mr.
Okay, okay, all right, again, things change. The budget is not the same, all the figures here are not the same as they were on budget 1, okay? So that changed, and some of mine can change too. I can look at it different and say, you know what, I missed that. So don't just hang your hat on that that's what I gave you back 3 or 4 weeks ago is set in stone, because it's not. I can change my opinion too.
I have a question on the floor. Right.
It's not a question.
Or is it a statement?
I agree with Mr. Wiggins. I mean, that number is kind of low.
Okay.
Even back in 23, it
Yes,
was
sir.
46,000.
I agree on that.
I think it's reasonable to say that's a little bit.
What's the number on it?
27,000.
And what number? The number, the 10.
50, yeah,
6708.
6708.
67.
67, okay, let's go to it. What's the whole number?
50-00-6708.
Out of departmental.
So repairs, wells, pump house.
Yep.
Yeah, so, let's see, 2 years ago, spent 46, last year spent 9,000. Current year, we budgeted 150. Year-to-date actual, we spent 36,000 and requesting 27. So yeah, you know, just looking at the history, we did spend 46,000 1 year, and then literally the last year we spent 9,000. Pretty good swing. That's like what, a fourth.
Yeah.
So you know, who has a crystal ball? Not me, but I try to do my best to stay in the middle. You know, I get that we got a projection, right? Year-to-date actual 36, but you know, looking at the history, it kind of varies. So 27. I mean, yeah, if you want to add some more to it, you can. But what I'll tell you is we've got repairs in other places. You know, it just says repairs, pumps, wells, and blah blah blah. Well, in this category, I mean, we've got, if Gene needed to split monies out, we certainly have a lot of different categories to do such. You know, we got tank maintenance and repairs just above it. We've got, also in the general fund, a lot of other repair type line items that we can borrow from. But, you know, it's really up to the council, whatever you guys decide. Someone will make a nomination and everyone vote on such of adding money's here, money's there, then we'll walk out of here with me doing such, and we'll meet again in 30 days, and it'll be as you say.
Any other questions? Mr. Richardson?
I mean, overall, I'm not in agreement, I mean, with most of Mr. Wiggins' changes, with the exception of either lowering or striking the attorney fees and that overtime, because once again, they're based on inflated numbers. But the rest of them, I mean, I agree with it for the most part. Just my 2 cents.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Mr. Williams?
okay. So if you, like I said, right now we're tracking at 44,000. And, you know, and so if you average the amount the last 3 years, I'll say that nearly 47,000, 9100, and then this 4416, you're gonna average out to a little over 33,000. So
One
that's
thing-
what that averages out to.
One thing I'd like to remind the council of too is, like, you know, again, no one has a crystal ball. We're doing the best that we can, and everything's, you know, been calculated with the theory behind it. And you can go a whole bunch of different ways with this. We can skin this thing all night, every night for the rest of our lives. But what I want to say is, we will eventually bring you a true up. And as things approach at the end of the year, what I'll be doing as your manager is, you know, Gene, do we need a split cost? Should we apply it here? This one looks low. We have money over there. We do all that internally, right? But whenever we do have run-ups, you know, I'll be bringing you guys a true up at the end of the year. Hey guys, you know, here's where we busted some, but here's where we have money. Y'all agree? Let's go ahead and change some things around. You know, it's not like we're going to break the bank. There's always going to be money floating around somewhere. It'll be brought to you, and we'll show you how we think that we can go ahead and level it out, essentially.
It's not that I'm correct you, because to me, you're the manager, you're the bookkeeper, or whatever, but you are a city administrator. Just in case somebody else wants to say that back there. You said manager.
Oh, how about
You are a manager. That explained it. That was brought out on me.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure, sir. Yes, sir.
Which, sir?
I'm about to say Wiggins, I go there again.
Yeah, okay. Oh, let's go with you first. Because we
Well, I was gonna make a motion with Mr. Wiggins, have a
Okay.
full discussion or
All
question.
right.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, why don't we go with 33,000?
You talking about attorney fees?
No, the one we're talking about.
Sorry,
That fitting,
No.
there were no repairs, well out pump, instead of 27, we go 33.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, y'all
Y'all good for that?
So we're gonna keep that one.
So
At 33?
let me just go ahead and start a list.
Yeah.
So the first one I'm writing is 50006708. And you want to go to
33
33,000.
instead of the 27.
All right.
We'll take that. Okay, yeah, Mr. Richardson.
I'd just like to make a motion, we adopt the change of Mr. Wiggins' proposal with the exception of striking the overtime and attorney investments. See if we get a second, see where the vote goes, and move on.
Yeah, we'll do that. We can,
I do have,
So we got, I'm sorry, Mr. Wiggins.
Before we do that, that's why I'm trying to clarify with you, Ricky, you know, this list, is this what we're looking at? Because I don't have written down everything. That if you guys were to just make a broad list of everything he's saying, well, what is that? Is it this?
He
this?
they did not want to approve what he said about the attorney fees, and they don't want to approve what he said about the overtime.
So what are the things we're approving, so I get this document, right?
Well, there's only like 3 things that they agreed on. On all those things that he brought up, there's only 3.
Yeah, we talked about fitting and supplies.
Fitting and supplies.
So living and supplies. And what do we want to go to on that?
33.
Okay, I got that. What's the other ones?
And fitting and supplies, do y'all want to go 110 or y'all want to keep it at 100? Up here, see? The 50-00-6703.
Oh, see, we were talking about 08.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
08
that's
was,
33.
yeah, 08 was 33.
Now
Now we're talking about the, yeah, 100 or 110,000.
I think that's an legal, cost.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna keep that at 100, or they will keep it at 100.
Yeah.
I think the only one so far is at 30.
So 33.
Or the change, the change,
Nothing else?
not,
Anything else?
not in that,
And then the Lord fees, no, overtime, no, nothing else changed. Everything's good, what you had on the budget, except that one thing.
So fix this one, the 50-006-708. Okay, gotcha.
Gotcha.
Just want to make clear
Yeah.
before we got into
Yeah.
it.
okay, and the other thing I have, Mayor, is the sewer fund. On the sewer fund, I have some questions on that, the worksheet.
Okay.
Do we want to take a vote on the water fund now, be done with it, and then move to the sewer fund?
I'll second that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion just to change that we discuss, adopt those for the water fund. We can vote on that and move on to the next section.
Alright, so that we're, only thing you're gonna change is
Only
that.
thing we changed.
Yeah, okay. Alright, now we got that, all in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Who'd second that?
There's one opposed. Wiggins is unopposed.
Yeah.
Okay, Wiggins unopposed, but 4-4. Okay, now we can move on to the other.
Okay, the sewer. Okay, the questions on the sewer, if you bring up the worksheet on the sewer.
No, it'll
Yeah.
settle in.
Oh, is that you bringing it?
No, it's him. But
Oh, okay.
When you flip it like that real quick. it's
Okay. Okay.
What page do you want?
One, page one. How did we come up with that, $280,000?
So we've got a calculation of what $116 was what you guys agreed upon, your previous administrator, for an estimated cost for your average user here for a two-person home. So if you calculate that out by the number of accounts that we have, there was what, 311? You get a figure, then you multiply that times 12, and that'll give you your annual. But I'm guesstimating, and best guess I have is I don't think this thing's going to be online until, I think I said March. So if you did a calculation of where March is in the year, that gets you at 0.58%. So I did a 5.8% on that total number calculated. It was in the $400,000 range is what we should be getting only annually with those 311 accounts. So that 0.58% gets you at that 280.
Yes, 7 months, from March to September. Okay, and now the transfer in money at 278, 232. We're,
It's just the next line.
Next line,
yeah, right, well,
That was from the general fund, right?
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's, if we talking about getting that money from our reserve fund.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because last session, council decided, I got some direction on this page. Basically, I was told, don't budget in buying a used jetter, get Gene's Big Daddy.
Yeah.
So there that is.
Right.
And then we said, yes, let's go ahead and pay for his other items. There's various things that they're needing, and it came to the 16,000. So when you add that up, it was this 787. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. The sewer fund, the reason why it's showing the negative 278 is it's not online. So when you go look at your expenses, I tried to make the expenses as skinny as possible. Basically, put things in the water fund until this sewer fund gets up and online and operating and revenue coming in. But I got it as skinny as I can, but there was still expenses at this 278, so we have no choice but to bring that in transfer in is from your bank account for
Yeah.
reserves.
Right, okay, on page two of that, okay, right there, under, the personnel, do we not have to split some of this out? In other words, because everything up there you have, salaries down to TMRS is all zeros. So I thought that if, we have Ron, I thought he was gonna be kind of a sewer guy. And now he's in water too, so I figured, okay, we could split him 50-50. You don't have to show that here?
No, so as I said earlier, let's go back to the, up here where we just said, the 278. My thought was, is let's get the sewer department as skinny as possible. So Ron was included in here, but I said, no, let's move him to water because I want costs in sewer department as skinny as possible until it actually goes online and starts making its own revenue. Then we're gonna start popping everything back in over here. And honestly, it's just a play on words. The water fund and the sewer fund are essentially the same thing.
Okay.
It's all kind of cold cash.
Now, we move to page 2 again, on the sewer fund, okay, right, to page 2, you're on page 3, it says. Anyway, okay, now we're gonna go back to these attorney fees, because you have 0 out there. We're not gonna spend nothing on attorney fees in the sewer?
Nope. Again, it's, if you wanna, it's a play on
I mean,
words.
so far, we've spent like $12,000
Mhm.
year to date,
Yeah.
and
So,
54,000,
but the big thing is that you gotta take a look at is, where's our debt? Oh, here we go.
yeah.
This is the big heavy hitters.
Well,
See year-to-date actual on our, you see this right here, the principal payment,
yeah.
and then your interest payment, year-to-date actuals. We budgeted these monies over here, but it looks like, I don't know why it's not showing payments, but this, we are getting hit with $400,000
Mm-hmm.
because the USDA had kind of screwed up their payments. But now they corrected it, and the sewer fund's about to get hit very hard with interest and principal payments. We didn't have principal payments previously, but it is going into effect now. So with that, knowing we've got so much we need to pay, I said, guys, we needed, I said, the strategy here, as your administrator, I need to get the sewer department as skinny as possible. It's not online, let's cut all costs. Until it goes online, we'll load it back up. So that was my strategy here and how I built this. Everything's now in the water fund, everything's getting paid out of the water fund.
Right.
And again, it's really a play on words between the water fund and the sewer fund. It's really the same fund in the end.
Okay, but we still have expenses.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's coming out of reserves. But
Okay.
that's when you go back to the top of what we were discussing earlier. It's
Yeah.
getting it as skinny as I could. We're
Right.
still coming out, transfers in $278,000 from reserves. Until it gets online and starts making money. And I'm showing it making money in March. So if it doesn't start making money in March, it'll be even worse.
Yeah. And, you know, you're talking about a reserve fund, and as stated in this, your report here, it shows that as of July the 31st, the water fund has that $419,391 in reserve fund and needs $486,900 for a 90-day emergency reserve amount. And then with the water fund, having to carry the sewer debt, like we talked about, the $400,237, we'll have to rely on the general fund reserve fund to carry it. So if we take that $486,900 that we need for a 90-day emergency fund, and now we take that $419,391 that we have currently in the reserve fund, that's $67,509 short. Now we're gonna add $400,237 needed for the sewer fund debt. So that's gonna be $467,746 will need to come from the general fund reserve, I presume, because we won't have any water. And then the general fund reserve amount as of July 31st is $1,512,884,000. So you take that $467,746 from that, that leaves $1,045,138. Now you take that general fund 90-day emergency fund needed at $269,076. Now you're at $776,062. Now if you take the water fund transfer in amount, that's $70,878 from that, and then you take the sewer fund transfer in amount at $278,232. Now general fund just dropped down to $426,952, assuming that the water fund can pay the debt service that nearly $309,000. So that shows you what we're looking at on their general fund side. Probably knocking it down to $426,000 from over $1,000,005. And now we had decided, one thing we had decided on was about that COLA. And I kind of put some numbers together because they're scattered throughout there. So if you add them together, the TMRS, if it on the 3%, the 2-to-1, on the city side, it's $11,590, and on the water side, it's $45.07, so that's $16,097 for the TMS, 2-to-1, 3%. Now, the 3% COLA on the city side is $15,075. The water side is $71.77 for a total of $22,252. So you add those two added together, just the 3%, the MRS and COLA is $38,349. Now, if you go with the 4%, so the 4% on the TMRS is $11,661 on the city, water $11,639, $23,330 total, 43,300 total, and the 4% COLA raise would be $19,406 on the city side, $11,639 on the water side, for a total of $31,045.
Mr. Wiggins, can you take a break just for a second? We have somebody, one of the council members wanted to say something. Just take a second.
I was just about through.
Okay.
Well,
good.
we're not, you didn't want to even consider the 4%. So, I mean, I think we were just gonna do the 3 and the 2-to-1, right? Wasn't that like the?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just, yeah, well, and I was just pointing out because throughout this, say, the numbers are scattered. So if you add all the numbers together, if you want to get the true picture, you add them together. And so the difference between them, I mean, if you did the 4%, you're looking at $16,000 difference. You know, you're already looking at over $16,000 for the 2-to-1. But you're looking at another starting point from the 4% side, you're looking at adding another $16,000. So, okay, so we're gonna go with 3% and the 2-to-1, 3%, okay? I wasn't clear on that, but I just wanted to bring these numbers out just for everybody to see. I think it's important, you can laugh if you want to.
I'd like to address that. I'm not laughing, I'm just confused while we're talking about something that we're not considering. I mean, we might as well calculate numbers, hold on, we might as well calculate numbers at 10% COLA for we'll talk about something the council's not even considering at this point. It seems like we're reading numbers about 4% COLA is not.
No, that, okay. No, because it's up there. If the 4% was up there, all I'm trying to do is add the numbers together, doing the math, and try to make it simple for y'all. I didn't realize.
I appreciate that.
I didn't realize, I'm sorry, I was talking.
But sir, you shouldn't tell somebody that you're trying to make it simple for them, trying to make them look like they're not
I'm
smart
not trying
enough
to
to
say
figure it
that.
out.
I didn't
That's
say
the
that. I'm
word
just trying to make
you
it
used.
simple.
No, you said for them.
Yeah, for everybody.
Well, you.
If I do the math,
You're
then it
looking at-
makes it simple.
You're looking at the council.
Well, you're looking at it wrong. You're misinterpreting what
All
I'm
right,
saying.
good.
But
I'd like to be able to
anyway.
go home tonight.
Yeah, that's, we need to, I mean, we.
Anyway, that's all I was trying to do.
All right, we're either fixing to take a break and council, then we can finish this tomorrow or the next day or Saturday or something.
Let me propose, so
I mean, because we don't need to go over each budget item line by line when there is going to be no changes of them whatsoever. That's what used to happen when we had a budget committee. That's why that budget committee was canceled. Okay, yes, Lawrence.
Let me make a proposal. So we did take a vote on the water fund, right? We know what that one change is, there's one change. So let's get through sewer fund. I don't really think we need to vote on it, but if y'all want to, I recommend as presented. And then general fund, I would also recommend as presented, but we could go ahead and vote for those, and that would close it up.
Can I interject here? I'm gonna make a motion.
Okay.
God, guys are already all put me to sleep here. Okay. I'm gonna propose that we approve the proposal for the water fund and the general fund. Okay? And if we get a second on that, then we can put this matter to bed.
Yeah, that's it.
At the 3%.
At the 3%.
But here's the thing, as presented, it's built like a 3%.
Yeah.
Right, if you look at that, it said for items for consideration, here's what a floor would be.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
So say 3%, yes,
3% and not the 4.
that's what I was, right, yes.
So yeah, when we say adopt as presented, that's what that means, because it's,
So I've got a motion on the
Let's
floor to accept the water fund and the general fund at the 3%. I have a motion for that. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Okay, all in favor?
3%.
All right, I said 3%. It is, but all in favor, it was passed, and it is now 8:42. Okay, number 8, I think it's 8, I can't see.
9.
9,
I think we have one more item.
which one is that?
B.
Oh, we haven't even discussed B yet.
It's very simple.
The tax rate.
Correct.
Okay,
The
that's a
rest-
simple one.
The budget as presented was with a no new revenue tax rate. Does everyone agree that that's the rate? The new
Yes,
tax rate?
no tax rate, no taxes. Now,
Did we need a motion on
Do
that?
we need a
we
motion?
have a motion, okay, we have a motion, okay, somebody,
I'll make a motion to,
no tax rate.
I can't talk, I'm sorry. I make a motion to approve the tax rate, the no new revenue rate, as suggested.
I'll second.
Okay, all right, got it, all in favor?
There you go.
Okay, now, Mr. Prater, it's your turn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Eight,
I'll second that. Thank you.
all in favor?
Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
thank you. 8:43.